It's actually recording right now. Just hold it on me. Sure. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do an inspection of the rear tire on a school bus. Okay. There's some little bit of difference between, you know, whether you go for the big bus or 16 passenger bus or even a car, but whatever you do, 4 things are important to you on the tires, okay? These 4 things are: you have to do the suspension system, you have to do the frame, you have to do the brakes, and then you have to do the actual tire itself, okay? So what I like to do is start with the suspension system first, and the suspension system includes your shock absorbers, and in the rear it's your leaf springs, okay? So your shock absorber on the rear is kind of like this diagonal thing over here. Here. Okay, so I'm going to point to it. It's actually right here. Okay, that's called your shock absorber. Securely mounted to the on the bottom. It's securely mounted to the rear axle. There's a U-bolt at the bottom. The U-bolt securely in place. The top, the shock absorber, securely mounted to the frame of the bus. And again, there's a U-bolt there. Your shock absorbers must not be leaking, and also, again, not cracked, bent, or broken. So then you're going to go to your leaf springs. It's part of suspension systems right here. These cannot be cracked, bent, broken, or shifted. Okay. The U-bolts present, holding them up. This big U-bolt is called a shackle, securely mounted to the frame of the bus, not cracked, bent, or broken. And that's it for your suspension. Okay, suspension system holds the bus up, or car up, whatever. Then you see this hose-like thing here coming around. These are your brake lines. They can't be hanging down or leaking or whatever, okay? So the brake line will come into the back of your tire here. And let's move up a little bit, okay? Let's go down here. This bus has dual tires. So, and it also has hydraulic brakes, so you don't have a chamber, but you have a caliper, okay? So, now, in a case like this, if you have dual tires, the caliper is going to be back on this first one here, okay? So what you're going to do is to explain to the inspector that the caliper is in good condition, not cracked, bent, or broken, or leaking. And in between the caliper and the rotor's the shiny part here. There's a brake pad, should have more than a 1/4 inch thickness. If you do not have dual tires, you will see the caliper up here, okay? And it kind of looks like a shoe thing. And you will say the same thing as what I just said, okay? And since this bus has dual tires, you have to say that the dual tires are not mismatched, and then there's enough space in between each tire so that they're not touching, okay? If you do not have dual tires, don't worry about it. You don't got to say it, okay? So then you did the brakes. This shiny thing is called the rotor, okay? You must say that shiny thing in the back is not cracked, bent, or broken, or leaking, okay? By the way, you can see the caliper down here. That's what a caliper looks like, okay? Kind of looks like a metal piece plugging onto the rotor, okay? So then, after your brakes and your rotor, you come to the upper part of the tires. This thing's called your rim, not cracked, bent, or broken in any way. This is a replacement cap, okay? Must be on tight, and then all of the lug nuts must be present. I mean, they're not going to tell you no if one is missing, but whatever, okay? And then behind it is an oil hub seal. An oil hub seal, again, must not be leaking in any way. Then you're going to go to your air stem valve. The cap is present, no air is leaking. On a 16 passenger bus, if you were to take the cap off and check for air, you should have 70 psi. If you don't know what it is, it should be on the inside of your door or somewhere in your bus, okay? So then then you don't have to, you just have to explain to the inspector how to check for air, okay? So we did that. We'll go to the tires itself. The rim in good condition. Okay, no air bubbles over here. And then the top, the treading on the rear tire must be 232, and the tires can be recapped or regrouped one time, okay? And again, no bubbles or anything. This is a part of your frame up here, not cracked, bent, or broken in any way. Then buses generally have a mud flap. A mud flap or splash guard, whatever you want to call it, should be securely mounted to the frame of the bus at about 6 inches from the ground. And that's it.